Welcome to Recovering Addict. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. I'm your host, LT Weaver, and I am a recovering addict alcoholic.
I'm your co-host, Felice Weaver. I'm the wife of a recovering addict.
Yes, she is, and I put her through hell.
I love him.
What's going on, Aaron?
With the cute dimples.
Hey, no dimples. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Raina. What's up, Mama Kenny? Alan, welcome to the show. Glad you are here. Them big old guns. So if this is your first time tuning in and you just found this as a pre-recorded live stream, we do this every night at 8 o'clock and we talk recovery. We go over a little bit of news. We read the 24 hours for the day. We are going through this book right here currently called Staying Sober. And we are trying to defeat our relapse warning signs, our anxieties, anything that's going to cause us to go backwards and relapse. That's what this show is about. 2 times in my life, I have hit rock bottom due to drugs or alcohol. First time was in the early 2000s. I ended up in jail because of my meth addiction. And then in my late 30s, I became a raging alcoholic and ended up in the hospital and actually did 5 months in an IOP program and transitioned out of there early February of 2020. And now I am here trying to be the best steward of Step 12 that I can be and spread the message of good news as far as recovery grows and becoming a better person and bettering the world and being a more productive, giving society something I completely took from them for the first 40 years of my life. Alicia, what's up? Hey, Cody, what's up, brother? Glad you are here. Marilyn, welcome.
Yes.
How you doing? Merk, there's my brother Merk. How you doing? And Mark and Penny, the Youngs. How you guys doing? They are on the property. Y'all got
They got some Wi-Fi.
Going on out there?
Alan,
make that a little bigger.
I've been working on my guns and my legs, and I can't walk.
Tell them what you tried to do. Tell them what you tried to do today.
We tried to do the 1,000 reps challenge.
Hey, Merd.
We got through half. It was like 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 100 of all kinds of things. It was madness. Now I can't walk and can't move my arms. They're barely holding my body up.
She's all into that work now. I'm still trying to get through my post-acute withdrawal syndrome, man. I swear that it was hitting me hard today. It was another one of them down days where I didn't sleep well. My mind's racing through negativity and all that kind of stuff. And if you were here yesterday, you remember that we did a little, hey, what's up, Corey? Welcome. Hey, enjoyed talking to you through IM yesterday and this morning. If you remember yesterday, we talked about the warning signs, right? And our homework was to write down 5 of them. And so I got mine. I'll go through mine. If you guys did that, I hope you did, because we got to take this recovery seriously. So I got a really good article I want to read, and we will get to that after we chit chat here in the comments. Everybody buffering as bad as Aaron. On my side, everything seems fine. I know that there is a lag right now in the comments, probably like 15 seconds or so. But I've seen just notifications from Facebook and YouTube and anything to do with the internet and bandwidth and streaming, everything. Everybody is at home on lockdown online right now. So they kind of weren't completely prepared for this as far as the amount of people that would be clogging the system. And we're even dealing with it at work. They got us teleworking from home, and they sent a whole bunch of us home to telework. And the same thing's happening there. The bandwidth is just clogged, but they're doing everything they can to get ahead of it. And we just got to deal with it. It is what it is, and we'll get through it. And that's what we've learned through the books, through our tools in recovery, is how to be patient in times like these, how to come out on the other side of this stuff better. Better. Who else we got here today? Mama.
Nice to see you, Sierra. Hope you're doing good today.
Sierra, she's here?
She said, hey, guys.
Oh, sweet. All right. Nice to see
you.
My
sister's here.
Yep, your sister's here. Cody says his sleep still sucks. Yeah, man. I just hit my 6 months just 4 days ago or so, and I quit 8 months before that, but I had that relapse, as you can see here on my key tags. If you watch, white, orange, that's 47 days. And I want to talk about that today too. There seems to be this bump in the road and I witnessed this. I'm not saying it because I read it, or I witnessed it and I experienced it around the 30 to 50 day mark. for everybody that I saw go through my IOP program, there's some weird bump in the road. You start feeling better, you start thinking a little more clearly, but your addict is on point at that moment. And people seem to have a high tendency to relapse. I would almost say 80 to 90% relapsed during that 30 to 50 day mark, maybe even 60-day mark, somewhere in that 2 month, the end of the 2 month, the beginning of that third month from the actual quitting of the whatever substance they were using. It was really weird. And I was 47 days. I talked myself into drinking. I didn't go off the hook. I didn't get drunk. I tried to prove to myself that I was in control, and that did not work. And I failed miserably.
Is that my cousin, Roberto Lopez? My for real cousin? Glad you made it today.
What's up, Roberto? Right on. Let's put him up on the screen. Everybody say hi to this guy. What's up, Roberto Lopez? We're like surrounded by the Lopezes now.
Lopezes are taking over the world.
Hey, Alan, thank you, brother. I wish I could go get my key tag because I need to keep this chain going. I'm going to keep this chain going until I get to my years and my years and my years, obviously. And so that's what it's for right here. And this one right here is to remind me of my relapse. You see that? White, orange. I had to start completely over. But yeah, Cody, you got some battles ahead of you. So does everybody that quit. I've been talking to Holly. She's doing good. We talked last night, and we went over the fact that when you're a heavy whiskey, any hard liquor type of drinker like I was and like she was, not only do you withdraw from the alcohol, and the alcohol withdrawal doesn't last that long physically. You go through the mental part for years. But sugar, tons of sugar. And the way that I got through it was to drink chocolate milkshakes when they were at the worst. And then I had a bag of M&Ms by my bed for a good 2.5 months, 3 months. I've slowed way down on the sugar, but man alive. Yeah, James, your show was buffering on my end too. It buffered a few times, but it only lasted a couple of seconds or so. But it's just this clogged up bandwidth, we just got to get through it. We're good. We all need the help. Yes, we do. And that is what this channel is for. So please share it with your friends, subscribe and like to help us out, and let people know that they can come here and learn. This show is dedicated to the education and the reaching out and holding people accountable to their progress. And shoot an email to me at recoveringaddict8@gmail.com. And you can send me video clips, send me pictures. If you send me a beautiful picture, I'll put it back here behind us throughout the whole show. You send me videos, I'll edit them and throw them in the end, give us some strength and hope of how you quit or just your inspiration of the day. Merck has sent me some. My cousin sends me them daily now, and we're going to hear from her later today. Her name's Cassie. She's usually hanging out in the comments with us. And yeah, wherever the heck I was going with that. 60 to 90 days has a season change. So new. Oh yeah. You know what? I experienced a lot of that when we were going through because my withdrawals were all through the winter and all that stuff. But a lot of people in my group at AA and NA places I would go, a lot of the people were experiencing the seasonal depression, which I never did. I'm a winter guy. I'm chubby. I'm hairy. I'm like made for it. So I love winter. I mean, winter's like my spot. I didn't know that. Angela Boughton, nice to see you. Must be why I crave sugar. Interesting. Yeah. So let us know about yourself there. Did you quit? Were you a heavy drinker of whiskey and all that good stuff? Beer, even beer has a ton of sugar in it. There's Cassie. What's up?
Hello, Cassie.
Yeah, Angela. Am I saying that right? Sorry, I am an addict alcoholic who dropped out of school in 10th grade, so my grammar and my reading skills aren't really.
What are you saying, Angelia?
Probably just Angela.
Angela
Boughton.
Yes.
Okay. Angela, let us know. And welcome to the show. We are glad you're here. We do this every night at 8 o'clock, and we're going to plan on doing this for 365 in a row. We are on number 23. Tonight is our 23rd episode in a row. Corey says, eating raw foods is very helpful to reestablish healthy vitamin levels. Yes, you got to get your levels back in there. I know when I was drinking the whiskey, I couldn't eat at all until I was completely blacked out drunk. And then I got to the point where the only thing I could eat was corn on the cob.
Lots of corn on the cob.
That was weird, huh?
Pans and pans of
I would
corn on the cob.
boil pans of, I would eat 8 to 10 of them in a row. And that's the only thing I ate for a few weeks, right up to the point I quit. It's kind of weird. Very high calorie. Very high calories. You gain a lot of weight. And the bad thing is when you're not eating and you're destroying your body like that with alcohol, your body does the opposite. When you stop feeding it the nutrition your muscles need, it stores the fat and your body actually eats the muscle to survive. So it's just a bad deal all the way around. Vodka, huh? She's a vodka drinker, yeah. How long you been clean, you say there? Mama of Kenny, corn on the cob. Yeah, tons of it. I think I had a stick of butter in one hand, corn on the cob in the other, and I dipped it in the salt and pepper. I was like,
we filled a lot of corn last summer.
yeah. It was the only thing I could eat. I'd wake up in the morning and I had drank so much whiskey the night before that I couldn't eat. I think I could barely get, what was it, like a half a burrito. We were making tacos at the time for work, and they were just street tacos, and I could only eat one. I had to force it down, and now I can mouth some food now. So my stomach's getting back together. Skinny guy with a beer guy. It's terrible. I was 36 malt liquor beers a day plus 2 gallons of vodka a day. Dang, Mo. Oh my goodness.
Glad
Are you
you're alive, Mo?
Yeah. 36 malt beers a day plus 2 gallons of vodka a day? 2 gallons of vodka a day? Thank you. Is that humanly possible?
Apparently.
Wow. I was close. I was really close to that. 42. That's Wisconsin, I hope. 130 days today. Yes.
Woo!
Keep it up. That's what we're talking about. We're here to stay sober. So we got some stuff for you. I'm going to jump right into it. Welcome to the show, you guys. We do this every night. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button and share this with your friends who you know that need recovery. The first thing we usually do is we start off by reading the 24 hours a day. That's it. That's all we got. There's one day ahead of us. We're not promised tomorrow. We're thankful for yesterday, but we only have 24 hours. And today is April 7th, and this is the AA thought of the day. In AA, alcoholics find a way to solve their personality problems. They do this by recovering 3 things. First, they recover their personal integrity. They pull themselves together. They get honest with themselves and with other people. They face themselves and their problems honestly instead of running away. They take a personal inventory of themselves to see where they really stand. Then they face the facts instead of making excuses for themselves. It's looking in the mirror. It's if you are sitting in an AA meeting, you're going to hear how it works. And that's what it is. The people that can be honest, with themselves are the ones that succeed. Meditation of the day. When trouble comes, do not say, why should this happen to me? Leave yourself out of the picture. Think of other people and their problems, and you will forget about your own. Gradually get away from yourself, and you will know the consolation of unselfish service to others. After a while, it will not matter so much what happens to you. It is not so important anymore, except your experience can be used to help others who are in the same kind of trouble. And then the prayer of the day is, I pray that I may become more unselfish. I pray that I may not be thrown off track by letting the old selfishness creep back into my life. Raise your hand if you were one of the most selfish people you knew in your addiction. Guilty. 2 times in my life, completely guilty.
Selfish in your addiction.
Why?
Because I wanted you to quit. It was all about me wanting what I wanted.
You were practicing self-importance, which you deserved, but there is that character defect we all have.
I cared more about what I wanted than what you needed, I think, at times. Till I got help.
Mo says he is sober 3.5. Yeah, now sober 3.5. Nice, brother. Good job. Keep coming back. That's inspirational. We need people in the comments who can throw in some sobriety. Or is that 3.5 days or years? Either way, if you got years, we need your experience of them years to keep us youngsters in check. And if it's days, we're going to help you get to where we are and look to people like Merck, who's in the comments, who have years of sobriety. Cody, who has days. Veronica, who has days. We saw some inspirational stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Corey, the corn was not
years.
Raw.
Okay, look, he clarified. Years. Awesome. Yes. That's awesome. We need some strength from people who have walked the walk. We need to throw in some stuff that we know we're going to encounter, right? We're going to encounter trouble, and you probably already have, and we can use your experience and strength. Jeffrey, he said he was Selfish. Hey, welcome to the show, Jeff. Nice to meet you. Glad you are here. Keep coming back and let us know about yourself. What was your drink or drug of choice? And sober since March 18th, Veronica Martin says. Hanging in there, but I've been tough. We're so proud of you. That's 21 days, right? I can't
I think it's 21.
quit forgetting. Every day I think, Veronica's 21 days today. 9 more to go, and we got 30, but we're only going to worry about today. And it's 8 o'clock Utah time. That's where we live. This is the mountain right behind our house called Ben Lomond. And say I go to bed at 10:30. I only have to worry about the next 2 hours. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. It has enough problems of its own. I go through the coronavirus numbers just to see if they're going up and down. And worldwide, we are at 1,400,000. And we are at a total of 81,000 deaths now. A little bit over that. I rounded down. In the United States, we are creeping up on 400,000. When I started reading these numbers, it has doubled since, and that was about a week and a half ago. And we are now a total of 12,758 deaths. But now I got to get a little more serious with y'all because, yeah, the virus is scary. It's dangerous. But the effects of what it's doing and where I want y'all to listen is what we can do for others. How can we reach out? Because this article kind of rattled me a little bit. We got people around us who may not be addicts, but they're in the same situation we are. We are lucky enough to learn and lean on the tools that we have and get through these kind of times. But I'm going to read you this whole article. It is out of the Scientific America. You can go to scientificamerica.com. It's a blog. And it says this: COVID-19 is likely to lead to an increase in suicides. We probably thought about that. It's not a very long article, but check it out. Of all the literature masterpieces describing humanity's experience of disease pandemics, none describes suicide more vividly than Ovid's Metamorphosis, when in response to the psychosocial distress of the plague of the citizens, hanged themselves to kill the fears of death by death's own hand. Just like the pandemic became a reality for the first time in more than a century in a destructive, life imitating art imitating life way, news of suicides linked to the COVID-19 crisis have swept the globe and sadly shows no signs of abating. A 50-year-old Indian father of 3 may be the first suicide victim linked to the coronavirus epidemic. Panic is suspected of precipitating his death. Historically, disease pandemics have been associated with grave psychological consequences. This should not come as a surprise. It is simply the definition pandemic, describes the spread of a disease across a large region, but the words such as pandemic, plague, and now coronavirus are not experienced in a simple way. They come riddled with fear, anxiety, grief, and chaos. This 50-year-old guy kept watching coronavirus-related videos and became convinced he had the virus and would infect his family. He was a victim of panic contagion. Panic can demoralize us. It can paralyze us with paranoia and fear, and these emotions in turn lead to hopelessness and desperation. Emily Owens, a British 19-year-old girl, is likely the youngest suicide victim of this epidemic. She hadn't been diagnosed with the virus or reported any symptoms. Rather, the announcement of the lockdown and the impending isolation petrified her. The relationship between the isolation and the suffering is perfectly illustrated in Albert Camus' masterpiece, The Plague. Camus' fictional account of the outbreak of the bubonic plague of the town of Oran now holds eerie similarity to the reality. The gates of the city were closed. Quarantines were imposed. The citizens were isolated from each other. He aptly compares the plight of its inhabitants to imprisonment. They had been sentenced for an unknown crime to an indeterminate period of punishment. Uncertain about how long these measures would last, lead the Orions, just as they do us, to feel powerless in planning for the future. The elderly are particularly at risk. Following the SARS outbreak in 2003, there was a spike in suicide among older adults, which could be harbinger of what's to come. Older adults are sensitive to loneliness and isolation as they depend on strong social support, especially during difficult times. Social contact in the community is now at a minimum, with social distancing encouraged. The elderly have been especially advised to reduce their social contact and remain homebound. The weakening of the social networks disrupts normal social lives and feelings. and worthlessness. So it says, above all, we must take care of one another now more than ever. In the conclusion of the plague, Camus questions through his main character, physician Bernard Rayu, whether the aftermath of such suffering, humanity can find peace of mind. Offering a glimpse of hope, Camus concludes that we can, as if there is one thing one can always yearn for and sometimes attain, it is human love. So the reason I wanted to read that little bit of article is a little bit longer than that, but I decided to cut it off there, is that if you know somebody that's elderly, if you know somebody that is prone to loneliness, anxieties, let's reach out to these people. Let's, just like what our AA meditation said, let's get out of ourselves. Let's get out of our selfishness and give somebody a call. See on how they're doing. Check in and see what they're doing, see what they're up to, because that's going to lift our spirits. That's going to lift their spirits. And if we can keep people from caving in on themselves at this time, because it goes beyond the epidemic. Once our isolation is lifted, we are left with the aftermath of the economics. That's going to, be another year or so before that's recovered all the way. And people have lost jobs, lost money, lost their savings. So we really got to look out for each other. And that's what we are here to do. That's what we are here to build, this community that we're all a part of. And we're dedicated to it. And that's what I want to do. Know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yes. Thank you, Merck. Look at that national hotline right there. We need people like Merck who can just whip that thing out and just boom, there it is. Where are we at? I got way behind in here, didn't I?
No, that's about it. Right there.
Oh yeah, Alan's, that's his clean date, right? Did we write that one down?
I just wrote it down.
Sweet. Drugs and alcohol fueled, magnified my, yes, mine too, brother. Especially if you only focus to mainly be drunk. That would be selfish. Oh, man. My only focus was to get blasted drunk. My doc was crack cocaine. Oh, doc. His drug of choice was crack cocaine, and my favorite drink was beer. Sounds like a party, Jeffrey. Been there, done that. Yes, congrats, Veronica. So I've stayed sober through an addict husband, now ex, many death friends and family. Ugh, that's sad.
That's sad. That's hard.
I have over 5 years of one day at a time because I only have today, because I only have a daily reprieve from the cunning, powerful, and baffling. And that's exactly what it is. And when that addict starts talking to you, boy, oh boy, is he or she just smarter than a whip and can talk us into anything. Man, it talked me into all kinds of stuff. I never have to drink or use it. No, we don't. None of us do. We know none of us ever have to drink again. Very good, Alicia. Very good. Amen to that. Yep. We're all on board with what you just said there, for sure. Yes, thank you, Merck. That's no joke right now. It's climbing. I mean, you got COVID cases going up. You got drug addicts relapsing going up. You got people that are normies, right? But they still have the same type of mind we do. They have the same character defects we do, but they don't have the tools that we do. And if we could reach out to those people, share them, because these tools we are learning are not mainly to keep us sober. Sure, they got us sober and they're helping us stay sober, but they are not mainly to keep us sober. They're mainly to keep us from going backwards downhill as a person, as an individual, in here and in here. And then once we hit that bottom, what did we learn from the book? Like I've said every day since we found that part, it's like we're walking up a down escalator. And as soon as you stop walking up, that's when relapse happens. And the 37 warning signs that go around that, why we stop. And here's mine. Did you guys do your homework and write down 5 of the warning signs? On that Facebook page, I listed all 37 warning signs and I pinned it to the top. So as soon as you go to that page, those 37 warning signs are right there. All you got to do is click see more and you'll see them all. Go through there, pick out 2, 3, 4, 5, sit down and write them down. And here's 5 that I wrote down about myself. I have a change in thinking when my thinking starts to change. And what it made me think about was the way that I daydream about negativity. Unless I'm in control of positive thinking, and you have to like literally take control of your mind and think it. But if I just get lazy, laxed, say I'm, use the tool HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, and all of a sudden I'm being lazy with my mind and my recovery, and something at work happens, or somebody says something to me that I didn't like, or somebody looks at me wrong, and then I just chew on this negativity, and it becomes worse than the reality it actually is. And I daydream and just fantasize off into it until you're almost into murderous thoughts, and you're like, wait a minute, stop. You have to literally stop yourself. And that's the moment I stop on the upward climb and I start sinking down. And if I don't see these warning signs about myself, I could go tumbling all the way to the bottom, and there's the liquor store, or there's the dope house, and I'm getting high or drunk. Another one of mine is compulsive behavior. Because of those types of feelings, if I get looked at wrong, or if I'm feeling impatient, or I don't get what I want right now, I'll do something compulsive. I'll spend money that we ain't got, or, maybe I'll just like up and quit my job without compulsive behavior. And what we do is replace the addiction and what we were using with alcohol and drugs. And in its place, instead of alcohol and drugs, we put in compulsive behavior. We learned in this book that it's pain. So you're going through some pain. And then we used drugs, which equals instant pleasure, but then future pain. Then you remove the alcohol and drugs, and then you go through some pain, and you replace it with compulsive behavior, which equals you feel instant pleasure, but then it's future pain. And that's one of my triggers. And then the third one, I put a loss of constructive planning. So I'll get all these great ideas, and I start doing the plan, and I kind of execute all my plans, and then this kind of leads to my depression sometimes. It's like I don't have anything to do. I kind of need this list of constructive planning to guide my life. And I just figured that one out by what we read yesterday, and then going through these. And then, because when you sit down, you write it down and you think about it, and you discover something new about yourself. And I realized that after this show's over and tomorrow, I need to write another 2-week plan that I need to start executing too. And that kind of keeps everything else in check too. That'll help me with my thinking and keeping it on a positive track. It'll help me with compulsive behavior, because I'm not just like, oh, what do I do now? And then difficulty thinking clearly. This one came to me because I think I'm still going through the post-acute withdrawal syndromes. And some days I wake up and I'm just like, everything's kind of just foggy around me. And I know I'm not bored, but then I feel bored. I know I want to go do that, but then it's like, that doesn't, and then all of a sudden, before I know it, I've been chasing my tail around the living room doing nothing. I accomplished nothing. So that difficulty thinking clearly is definitely a warning sign for me. And so that's when I think I just need to go read something, like read Daily Recovery, Daily Meditations. And, I can go through this sober book and read a chapter out of that, and that'll get me focused at least, And then difficulty sleeping. I've been having trouble sleeping restfully lately. I've been taking a lot of cat naps, and I believe this is due to lack of discipline in my life. I'm not forcing myself to do what needs to be done. I just kind of go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens, instead of shutting the lights off and going to bed, but we'll get that under control. I think that's a part of the post-acute withdrawal that I'm still going through. And because that takes years, it could take a year or two to get through all those. Where are we at?
Right where the blue is. I just let you chit chat.
And then the I don't care attitude. So sad and scary. That's what we all need to remember. Reach out. Just text someone and say hi. You never know. That's true. If that phone weighs 1,000,000 pounds, pick it up anyway and just do it. If you're in a Zoom AA meeting and you don't want to talk because you feel weird because you're talking to your phone, just do it. Get it off your chest. Talk about it, Hopelessness and depression. Sounds familiar, eh? Yeah. And then the fifth one that I listed is my I don't care attitude. I don't care. And then you get that F it syndrome, right? And that's when you can get yourself into big trouble. That's when you bust straight into the liquor store. And usually the words when you go to swipe your card, when you got a fifth of whiskey in your hand, is F it. And then you have to keep saying F it the whole way home. And then right before you start drinking, you go F it. You know what I mean? Screw it, I'm drinking. So those were the 5 I did. If you guys want, go to that Facebook page, join our private group, look at those 37 warning signs and write down 5 about you. And just keep it. You don't have to post it. You don't have to do nothing. Just do it for your personal recovery, because we have to be as adamant and eager to recover as we were to get that next sack and that next high and that next drunk. Now, I don't know if Holly's going to check in today.
She is watching.
Oh, good. Holly, are you going to check in with us and say hi?
You're describing Angela.
I am. Where is she?
Here.
Holy cow, you're describing me. Looks like we got a ton in common.
Sierra's a planner.
Good.
What you up to, Raina? I'm going through it bad. I hate going to the doctor, but I actually miss it. I have my second phone appointment coming up.
Well, Raina, you know that we pray for you every night. You're always in our thoughts and prayers.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not alone.
Nope. Oh, Robert.
January 3rd, 2020 was my last whiskey. 6 years, 98 days. Yeah, put that on the birthday list.
You're on the birthday list.
6 years, 98 days off heroin, meth, and all their best friends that come prescribed. I don't know how much about the steps of the book. I've been solo trying not to relapse. Is that your? I don't think that's your cousin.
Are you my cousin?
I don't think that's your cousin. Mm-hmm. Anybody with the last name Lopez is usually related to her, but she does have a Robert Lopez in our family. Okay, y'all. You remember 3 days ago, we were here with Holly. She called us in live because she was asking for help, doesn't really know much about AA or any of the recovery programs. She thought she was out there alone, y'all, alone. She didn't realize there was a whole millions of people just like her. And so this will be, what, the fourth day? So she's going to come in and check in with us. Third day? Is this the third day? I think it's the fourth.
She can tell us. She remembers.
But we're going to let her pop on, tell us how she's doing, and all that kind of good stuff. What's up, Holly?
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Uh-oh.
Third day.
Wonderful. Third day. Oh, third day. Okay.
It feels like things are going well. Still sucks. Not sleeping well. Had night sweats all night last night. But hanging in there.
Night sweats. I sweat for probably 2 months. Every night I would wake up, my pillow would be drenched, and I would have just a big circle of sweat around me, which is a good thing, though. Your body is pushing that poison out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The cravings are still there. I'm still eating my ice cream cones, and I just ate a cookie, and so I'm trying the sugar. The sugar cravings really getting me.
Yeah, it did me too. And like I told you last night, I was actually on a Facebook group. I was like, and I texted this Facebook group. I was like, y'all, F it. I'm about to go drink. And they're like, go get a milkshake instead. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went to Arby's or someplace and I grabbed one of their biggest milkshakes, and it actually got me through that craving. So then I was like, big bag of M&Ms right next to my bed. And I'd be laying there at night. And it worked.
Yeah.
It got me through.
Yeah. I think the sugar craving is probably going to be my biggest. I mean, you just don't realize how addicted you get to that in itself. So I'm trying. It's hard. I still don't like the fact of quitting. I don't know if I ever will.
You won't. I still, in the back of my mind, think of a fantasy day, and it's usually, under a tree and a nice breeze, and I got a glass of whiskey and the glass is clanking, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's, people like us will never be able to do that, unfortunately. So we just have to.
I know. I sit back and I'm like, maybe I can drink when I go on a cruise, but it's like you covered last night. Once you start, that's it.
Yep. What's going to happen? So let's actually play a tape through. Say you drink tonight. What would happen?
Oh, I'd keep going. I would binge drink because I miss it so much. I would probably drink a whole fifth, to be honest. And
then what would happen tomorrow?
I would probably drink again tomorrow because it's kind of like you just said, F it, forget it. I've already messed up, so what's the point?
And then what would happen with you and your boyfriend and your kids, and where would that all lead?
He'd be mad at me. He's actually sitting beside me now, but he doesn't want to be on. So
that's fine.
Not in a different room.
Awesome.
From the sidelines.
He just gets so frustrated, but I don't think he knows y'all's story very well because we really haven't talked about this a whole lot. About how your wife supported you and, kind of had to set those boundaries for you. And I think that I want to quit for the right reason. I want to quit for me.
Yes.
But I also want everybody else around me happy. So it's like I don't know. It's complicated. It's I want to quit, but I don't.
I'm right there with you.
I heard a good quote from Russell Brand. I was watching one of his videos, but he said, and this hit home, I'll help you change, but I won't help you stay the same. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt.
That's a good one. I'll help you change, but I ain't going to help you stay the same. Can you see all these? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sitting here just concentrating on what I'm saying. I didn't even have time to respond to everybody.
That's okay. I'm just throwing them up there for you.
People in this group, and I love them all. And Veronica reached out to me today, and Aaron says, hey. He's like, but just amazing people. The support, just knowing that I'm not alone, and then I actually have people to talk to about it who actually understand it. It, like I said last night, makes all the difference.
Yep.
Hey, Cass.
So that's awesome. I'm glad you made it through last night and you've got this far. So pretty much now, day 3, the alcohol effects on your body are pretty much gone. Now you're dealing with sugar and your mind and what you've done to your mind and your body through the abuse of alcohol. And so now that's what we have to overcome. And the cravings are now more mental than anything. I would always fantasize about coming home and just shutting the world out and numbing out. You know what I mean? Because at my work, I deal with hundreds of people, it feels like, and they're just constantly, I can't get away from conversations. It's like I turn here, and I'd come home and just slam it, and it would quiet everything and shut everything off. So I had to deal with learning how to cope with that,
I just, like I said, I think weekends are going to be my struggle. I don't know why weekends are my struggle, but they are. It's not like I really go anywhere, but it's just kind of like my unwinding time. And so that's when I'm really going to need everybody. Because it's going to be very easy for me to give in at that time. And I've come this far. I don't want to start over.
Yeah, don't start over. Like that little quote I sent you last night. Mm-hmm. I heard this a million times in AA, NA, and in my intense outpatient program. It's easier to stay sober than it is to get sober. And that's so true. And you watch, especially if you're a heroin or somebody, well, alcohol too, because you drink the next day because you feel like crap. And it's almost the same cycle, but it's easier to stay sober than get sober. And it's going to be rough, but know that it is going to get easier. And we all got your back. Everybody in the comments you just made it. I guarantee you, everybody watching right now is just cheesing ear to ear.
I love them all, so they're all amazing. And I've really made some good friends on this group. And I don't even, like I said, the night I found this, I was drinking, so I don't even know how I found this. I don't even really remember the first live. Like I told you, the next day I woke up, I was like, what did I say? And I didn't even want to watch what I had said. I was like, there's no telling. But I'm thankful it happened. God put me in the right place at the right time, and
absolutely
do I support, and I have it here every. I get up and put some clothes on and brush my hair for you guys.
That's good. That's positive.
Stuck in the house, so stay in your PJs like all day. So you have to from live. So, every night around, I wait until like 10:20 my time.
Right.
I'm like, I got 10 minutes. I got to do something with myself.
So you're just like us.
Yeah, I got my nice sweater and my comfy pants on. And some slippers.
I kind of came in a little bit late tonight, but how is Sierra doing? Did I miss that?
Sierra.
She's in the comments. They're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I say was that the right name?
Yeah, Sierra and Brent.
Okay, from last night. Okay.
Yep.
So y'all haven't had them tonight, or are they going to come back every night?
It's up to them. They have the link if they want to click in and say hi. She's in the comments saying hello, so that's good too. So if they want to click the link, I emailed her the link, and if she wants to pop on and say hi, she's more than welcome. It's a place to hold your. Go ahead.
I was just thinking of them, and they were an inspiration to me last night. So they were. I just wanted to see if I had anything as I was getting dressed to come on live.
Awesome. That is so cool. We're all proud of you. You definitely didn't find this by accident, Alan says. A higher power definitely had a hand in it. No doubt. And Cassie's little inspirational quote of the day fits perfectly with that. We'll get to that here in a little bit. So awesome. I'm proud of you.
I am good. So hopefully I'll start to feel even better. I do feel better. You know, you feel like a miserable person. You wake up the next day and you went to bed drunk or whatever your drug choice is. But I at least wake up feeling better about myself. Physically, right. I may not feel very well, but emotionally you feel better.
Right.
All right, you guys want to check in tomorrow night?
Absolutely.
10 minutes before.
Yep. And we're here just like always, and I will send you the link tomorrow just like always, and we will continue keeping up with you and getting you through this because I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but there's a point when you get to the 30 to 60 day mark where you feel good, but your addict starts talking really slick, and he or she tries to get you to relapse, and I did at 47 days. And so I want to be there for you through that too, because you don't have to. We don't have to relapse. You know what I mean?
I hope you're right.
What's up, Chad?
I pretty much already. Can you hear me?
That part broke up.
Okay. I hope you're right because it's already definitely in the back of my mind. Constantly. You know, trying to find a reason to drink. So if I can deal with that, then I'll be good to go.
Yeah, and we'll be here for you. You know that.
I'm breaking up.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna.
All right. Well, I'll check tomorrow night.
Yep, we'll see you tomorrow night, and you have a good one. And we'll be here. We're only a text away.
I'm gonna share an article for Kevin.
All
put it on the Facebook.
We'll email it to him. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Awesome. Hey, Chad, welcome to the show. Glad you were here. I gotta go to some AA meetings with this guy. Way cool. Way cool, dude. Well, that's inspiring, y'all. Yes, good job, Holly. So that's day 3. So if you missed that, three days ago, she came on. We got her we talked her into dumping out some whiskey. She woke up the next morning. She gave it to her boyfriend. He hid it from her, kept it just in case. You know how alcohol is. If you quit cold turkey off that when you drink as much as Holly and I did. So it's there just in case of emergencies. We don't want nobody going to the doctors right now, you know, the whole thing. So we're trying to do this wisely, trying to do this strategically. She doesn't know anything about AA. She never really went to AA. She's not comfortable with AA. She doesn't know anything about inpatient programs. And she came here for support. She's getting support she needs. She's meeting people in the comments on our private Facebook page. And we're working together. We recover better together, and it's working. It's just she pops in here 8:30 every night and gives us an update on how she's doing, does her hair, and comes on. And it's awesome. It's inspirational to me. So inspirational. And we do this every night at 8 o'clock. We're dedicated to this for the next 365 days. Yes, keep coming back, Holly. Night, Holly. So grateful to be here and that you guys are here doing this. Yeah, Chad, we're glad you're here watching. Thank you for the support, brother, so much.
Robert said yes, 100%. That's my cousin.
Oh, really? Sweet. We all have been there, Holly, at one time or another. So who was that said, oh, that was Alan. Alan said, it's not by chance that you found this place. Your higher power gave it there. So let's listen to Cassie for her word of the day.
Hey guys, back with the quote of the day here on Recovering Addicts. Be strong, be courageous, for the Lord will be with you always. Joshua 1:9. Don't forget, spread that love.
Amen. And that's what we're doing here. We're spreading that love, practicing our 12th step as much as we can, reaching anybody. We're here for Sierra. We're here for everybody in the comments, Holly, all the new people, everybody. How can I join your Facebook page? So Felice, I believe, just put that in the comments, and you go there, request it. And it's a private group that I take seriously. I was in a bunch of other private groups, right? But there was trolls that got in there, and they would post things that I swear that the only reason they were there were to try to trigger people in recovery. So I swore I was going to open a Facebook page, Facebook group that was what do you say? Protected our recovery, because I'm 100% all about recovery. This channel is 100% all about recovery and education through recovery and what we can do to stay sober. We recover better together, and I want to protect that integrity. So that's what that Facebook page is all about. And that Facebook page has 37 warning signs on it. The very first pinned comment up there is one I put in, and it's something we learned out of this book called Staying Sober. 37 warning signs. I wrote down 5. I went through mine. I suggest you do too. So let's get into this book a little bit. What I like to do is keep pressing through this book, even if we just have to do a paragraph at a time. But we are getting close to the end. We're on chapter 7 right now. We just went through that. This is the relapse prevention planning. So you had the 37 warning signs and how to combat those. And now we're going into how can we make plans to prevent relapse. And preventing relapse, you need to learn to be stable. You need to have self-assessment. You need relapse education. Learn about relapse and what to do to prevent it. You got to learn this about yourself. And then warning sign identification, warning sign management, inventory training, and we are on warning sign management right now. So let's go through that really quick. I'll answer some comments if there are any, and then we will jump into that. Aaron loves it, Cassie. Yeah, thank you, Cassie. That was awesome. What?
But your husband like you grooming. That was from Maryland.
Yep, many times I've done the cold turkey and more hard drugs and mental health. I'm so also part of DRA. What's DRA? Okay, warning sign management. Each warning sign is actually a problem that you need to prevent or solve once it occurs. If you want to avoid problems, you will need to review each warning sign and answer the question, how can I prevent this problem from happening? Oh, there we go. There's our homework for tomorrow. If you do, write 3 or 5 things out of there that relate to you. Write about them and how they could possibly get you in that backward spiral to relapse. But go through those 37 warning signs and write, how can I prevent this problem from happening? You must remember that addiction is a disease with a tendency towards relapse. This means that any recovering addict will have a tendency to experience problems of warning signs that can lead them back to the addictive use. Once you know and accept the fact you plan for the inevitable, you will have... You can sort of turn that down. Once you know and accept that fact, you can plan for the inevitable. You will have problems and relapse warning signs. If you want to avoid relapse, you will need to take each warning sign you have experienced in the past and develop a plan for coping with it should it develop. It is essential for you to establish new responses to the identified warning signs of relapse. Determine what you are going to do when you recognize that a specific warning sign is working in your life. How can the relapse syndrome be interrupted? What positive action can you take that will remove the relapse warning sign? List several options or possible solutions to removing the problem from your life. You got to take these measures. We keep saying on here, you have to attack your recovery as hard as you attacked your addiction. What would you not do for the next bag? What would you not do? What lie would you not say? What would you not hide? Who would you not burn to get your next high and drunk? You know, I mean, what measures did you take to be an addict when you were completely out of control? To take that energy and now in a positive way and put it all on recovery. And by sitting down and forcing yourself to go through these steps and seeing this about you, because it's about that honesty we talked about, and you see this in yourself, and then you now know, oh, this is happening in me. I feel it. I see it. Maybe you let your partners know and they will see it in you, and then you can talk about it, and then you stop it. And you continue climbing up that down escalator, because as soon as you stop climbing up that down escalator, it leads to drinking or using. And drinking or using is not the relapse. The relapse starts when you stop heading forward in your program. List several alternatives. This will give you more of a chance of choosing the best solution and give you alternatives if the first choice does not work. Choose a reasonable option that seems to offer the best possibility of interrupting the relapse process. This will be your new response when you become aware of a particular warning signs. And practice these and practice these and practice these until it becomes a habit and second nature. Practice each new response until it becomes I beat the book to it.
Sucker.
If the new response is to be available to you in times of high stress, you must practice it in times of low stress. Practice and practice until the response becomes a habit. If the new response fails to interrupt the warning sign, establish a new and more effective plan. You cannot afford to put off developing a plan to interrupt your warning sign if they occur. If you do not have a plan, you will not be able to interrupt them when they occur. So make sure you got a plan. You have to understand first, learn from the past. If you've relapsed, what caused you to relapse? You got to evaluate, and you have to, what is that called when you analyze? You have to analyze every bit of your behavior, morning, noon, and night, and then look back in your past and try to recall what happened that day or the weeks leading up to it and learn from that. And then when you start seeing those, honestly look in the mirror and start seeing those signs about yourself, then you can write plans to prevent that. You can have a plan. Oh, if this happens, you know, what happened before, you know, if you, just like right now, if you lose your job, what's your plan? If you are going to go out of town on vacation, what's your plan? If you are overly excited and your friend comes over with a 12-pack because he doesn't know you quit, what's your plan? If you don't have a plan, you're not going to stay sober. Where are we at in the comments?
Right here. DRA, Dual Recovery Anonymous.
Dual Recovery Anonymous. Huh. I didn't know those existed.
Me neither.
I'll have to check them out. You could probably Google them, right? I'd like to see that. Is it just me, or does this meeting just fly by fast? Fastest hour of my day, I swear. It does for me too. I can't believe it's already 8:52.
It flies by.
Just as on a note there, Aaron, for that, we on work days, so Sunday through Wednesday night, we try to keep it to an hour just because I have to get up at 4:00 in the morning. But on Thursday night through Saturday night, we let it run for about 2 hours. If the comments go, one time we actually stayed live for 4.
Yeah, I was like,
we were like 4 hours, man. It was fun.
It went by fast.
Yes. Of course, Cassie, thank you for taking the time out of your day to make little videos. Yes, Cassie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cassie.
And you guys, I'll throw my email up there. Any one of you can throw a video to me. I highly encourage it. It doesn't have to be like Cassie lays them out. You can just say, hey, look what I'm learning how to do. If you're sitting there trying to play the piano, or maybe you learned how to play chess or net or guitar, or, you know, what are you doing differently? Or maybe you can take a little video of yourself working the program. Hey, check it out. I'm writing down these warning signs, and here are 5 I found about myself. Shoot me the video to this email and I will put it up there. Merck has sent me one. Cody sent me a really awesome one that we went through. He shot all the last of his beers, 39 of them. He put them to rest with his family. Way cool. That was a fun one to make. That was a really fun one to make. I'm always here. I'm always online. I'm always watching my emails. I'm always watching the Facebook page, always watching the YouTube comments. There are a few that get through that I don't see, but I try to stay on top of and respond to every single one of you. And that's my commitment to you guys. And why? And maybe I'm being selfish, but it keeps me in recovery. If I'm constantly in recovery, I'm practicing step 12, just like our thought for the day. I'm getting out of myself, because that's all I was the most selfish prick ever, especially when I was a tweaker. Holy cow. When I was a meth addict, put your wallet in a safe. And it didn't matter if it was in a safe. There are a couple of those we broke into. Jeez. I got some war stories, I tell you what. I used every day. I have to do all the recovery stuff Amen. There you go. That's a good way to put it. If you used every day, you have to go to recovery every day. Amen. And that's the email address. Make sure you click that. Oh, and don't forget, if you haven't, hit like and subscribe. Ring that bell so you're notified when we go live. We go live every night at 8 o'clock. That's Mountain Time. Utah, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Oh, yeah. Amen. I like that. Also, you can Google NA and AA online. DRA will be too. Yeah, I do. Actually, I'm a fan of both. I go to Zoom meetings now, NA and AA. I'm in a not relapse. It's called continuing care. So I got out of my IOP, and then now we go only on Tuesday nights. Well, obviously, that's been shut down. But they're setting it up to be a Zoom meeting. So on Tuesday nights, which is today, I would have been in a Zoom meeting with my counselor doing aftercare. And I haven't seen my counselor for almost a month now, and it's about time I talk to that guy. He'd be like, "Hey, boss."
He's awesome guy.
And he don't mess around.
No.
He's like, "I don't care if you get mad at me for me telling you what you need to hear, especially if it saves your life." And there were times I had to go back and apologize just because of my addict attitude. You know, we all got it. Oh, Alicia's good night.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep well.
As sweet as Spanish marshmallow.
Yeah, that one. It's a 12-step group, so it follows the same. Oh, cool. I'm a fan of the 12-step. I'm on step 7. I'm halfway through it, and I need to bust it out and finish it because on Tuesdays is when I would read it. But I think I only have halfway to go. Maybe tomorrow, instead of going through this book, I'll bust it out, and actually I'll read the questions and then I'll answer them right there in front of everybody. We'll go right through step 7. That sounds like a good idea. And then it'll help me get something done. Here comes the storms for tonight. Rumble. Is it storming out there already? I don't mind the storms. Night, Alicia. Boom, jagalaga. What's up, Nicole? Hey, guys, this is Nicole right here in the comments. Say hello to her in our little trilogy of recovery. This is what we got going on. You see that? That's Nicole right there. She's from Real Talk Recovery. She goes on at 6 o'clock. Now, this is Mountain Standard Time I'm speaking, so do the math. She comes on at 6 o'clock, followed up by Sober James at 7, who has an awesome channel that's growing amazing, and we're doing awesome. Every one of us is reaching other people. And then I follow it up with the Late Show. And if you have any maintenance questions on how to come off opiates safely and you're worried about relapse with that kind of thing, Nicole knows what's up. And James has been there, done that with 4 years of sobriety with his alcohol. And then me, I've been a meth addict tweaker who committed felonies, went to jail, and being a completely neglectful husband and father to my wife and kids as a raging alcoholic in my late 40s. And that's the story of the trilogy of recovery. It's that triangle thing you see on the big book.
I can't even lift up my legs.
She decided to work out today. Now she's crying
I'm
about
cry
it.
for like next 4 days so I can walk again.
Hey, there she is. Love y'all. Me and Brent will be checking in the next day or two. We are on a job right now. Cool.
Wow, right on.
Good job. You're in our prayers, and we think about you a ton.
All the time. Every time I put my hoops on. That's from Holly.
Oh,
We need to give her the YouTube link. She's in the
Yeah.
party. She always joins the party.
get in the YouTube
We need
there.
to give you the link to the YouTube.
That's okay. That is okay. Can't wait to see you live, Miss Sierra. Yeah, can't wait to see y'all checking in, going live with us too. In my prayers as well. Cassie, thank you for that video. Tomorrow we will jump into inventory training. That's number 6 on our list. And remember, go to that Facebook page. Make sure you find them 37 warning signs. And tomorrow, take 5 minutes and just read through them and think about solutions if those things occur in your life. And then pick 3 to 5 of them and write out like I did right here. Oh, you can't see it, but I wrote changing thinking. And then I wrote how I changed my thinking and where it could possibly lead. And then I wrote compulsive behavior, how that changes and where it could lead. And then loss of constructive planning. And then difficulty thinking clearly was another one. And then difficulty sleeping. And then the I don't care attitude. Those 5 was on my list today. April 7th?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow I'm not going to be able to move my arms.
A wide arc of gratitude. Yes, a wide arc of gratitude. That already sounds awesome to me. So, in speaking for Dr. Bob and myself, I gratefully declare that I had not been for our wives, Annie and Lois, neither of us could have lived to see AA beginning. Wow. Am I capable of such generous tribute and gratitude to my wife, parents, and friends? Without those who support, I might never have survived to reach AA's doors. I will work on this and try to see the plan my higher power is showing me, which links our lives together. Amen. That's a good one. Right, let's go through some comments.
That is a good one.
That is a good one. I tried doing Zoom, but this helps me too. I'm starting on my new writing on step 1. Oh, going through step 1 again? I'll be going to bed soon, so more will be revealed on tomorrow. So what I do not do today, I hope I will wake. Sweet. Hey, Jeff, we're about to end the show, and we're about to say the Serenity Prayer. So just to let you know that this show's not done until we say the Serenity Prayer, and we usually wrap it up right here at 9 o'clock. Yes, Murd, thank you for being here. You're one of our first people to be a part of our family. It's awesome.
Anybody heard from Bob? I haven't heard from Bob today.
I haven't heard from Bob for a while. If anybody knows how to get a hold of Bob, tell him I said what's up. Nice.
Gangsta link.
Or if you like me to do tonight's, because I will forget after you go to bed unless you write it down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the book on the next part actually talks about inventory and taking your inventory 2 times a day. Take it in the morning and take it at night. So follow Corey's thing. And here's a little thing that Linky set up for us. So we got this out of Drop the Rock, the book. But this has character defects in it. In the morning, we're going to grab one out. Let's see which one I get. Trust. So I'm going to work on trust. To be honest.
Wow.
So we'll see which one you would get.
Morality.
See, so we put character defects in there. Grab one in the morning and let that be your thought. You got honesty, serenity, in serenity. So we put the character defect, envy. You got character defects. You need to work on them. Pick one out in the morning and work on just one. What is
Linky's got silver teeth. So does Millie.
I don't want some kids.
And you guys' teeth look real.
Yeah, we're glad you're here, Angela.
Angela's-
So glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube if you're on the YouTube side of things. Rihanna, absolutely. And what do you mean by join? Do you want to come on live and say hello? If that's the case, shoot me an email to this recoveringaddict8@gmail.com. There we can talk, and I'll tell you kind of how we go through getting you on live and what time we do that kind of stuff. We'd love to have you on and tell your story, whatever you want to do, if that's what you're talking about. If not, let me know. But shoot me an email, recoveringaddict8@gmail.com. Any Cookie says hi.
Hi.
Let me see your teeth. Who's got silver teeth? Oh, jeez. Oh, good job, Jeff. If we don't work on our character defects, we're destined to fail. There's just no doubt about it.
Linky, did you have a joke or quote you wanted to
Oh.
share today?
No.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
You moved it?
Okay, shoot me an email,
I didn't.
Recovering Addict, and we will connect, and then we will talk on a more personal level right there. It'll be a little easier. Hey, thanks, Chad. Okay, y'all. Who are we not?
God.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Amen, you guys. Have a good night. And work your program. Stay strong. Reach out to somebody you think who might be lonely or hurting. And remember, we recover better together.